I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free from your lies. You're so self-satisfied. I don't need you. I've got to break free. God knows.
Hey, what's up YouTube, it's Erin. So I get a lot of questions from cis people asking me basically like, what's it like to be trans? What's it like to be a transsexual? Being in the wrong body or needing to transition to, change your gender presentation, like what is that like? It's really hard for someone who's not trans to put themselves in that situation and understand it, because it's not really something that you have to think about if you are cisgender. If your body is aligned with your mind and you enjoy that privilege your whole life, you never really have to give it a whole lot of thought. So it's kind of a foreign concept, the idea of being in the wrong body or feeling that you need to transition. So I do get a lot of questions as far as like, what is that like? How do you know that you need to transition? Why is it so important? I had a conversation recently with my stepdad that really helped him definitely understand a lot better. I came to a good way of, being able to describe how it feels, at least for me. I want to just put up front right now, this is my experience. This is what being transsexual means for me. I feel that I was born in the wrong body. Not every trans person feels that way. I feel that in my case, it was something of a birth defect, and not everybody likes to see it that way, which is completely understandable. So I just want to make that clear right now that I'm only speaking for myself here. But I wanted to put this out there for anybody who may be trying to figure out a good way to articulate how things are for them, or, is just looking for a way to kind of relate. Anyway, my stepdad was asking me, why is this whole transition thing so important? I support you and I want you to be happy. I'm totally behind it. I just don't get it. And like I said, you can't be really expected to. If you wanted to know like why I make it such a big deal or why I get so upset when people misgender me, why I find it so important to do things to change my presentation. So I asked him if he knew what dysphoria is, and he was like, what? So to give you a quick rundown, dysphoria is an extreme discomfort, extreme, emotional disconnection from your body. I'm actually going to look up the dictionary definition here. Here are some definitions from a medical dictionary. Disquiet, restlessness, an emotional state marked by anxiety, depression, and dissatisfaction, a disorder of affect characterized by depression and anguish, a neurological unpleasant mood, that's a good way of putting it, and gender dysphoria, specifically unhappiness with one's biological sex or its usual gender role, and the desire for the body and role of the opposite sex. Okay. There's your medical definition, great, fantastic, but what does that mean? What does it mean to live with dysphoria? What does it mean to be trans, to be transsexual, transgender? I came up with a pretty good way to describe it that really did help him get it. And he felt, a lot more like enlightened by the end of the conversation. I said, imagine if as a straight male, as a cisgender male, at age 12, just before going through puberty, you had a horrible accident and you lost your penis. That would fuck you up. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a matter of having low self-esteem. That's a much bigger deal. It would really screw with your head, looking down at your body and not seeing a penis there anymore, having your body be something that's unfamiliar to you. From that point, you'd have to pee sitting down. Showers, I imagine would be really upsetting. Not to mention knowing that you'd never have sex the way that you imagined you would, and let alone the fear of telling future partners what had happened and that you don't have a penis, That feeling would be much greater than just a simple self-esteem issue. It's not something that you feel when you look in the mirror and think, oh, I'm chubby, or I'm too skinny, or I wish I had whatever, I was just taller, wish I had smaller ears. These are self-esteem things where, you know, in a situation like that, you would be very unsettled and uncomfortable with that kind of huge, you know, trauma to your body. Now, to take that a step further, imagine after this happened, your parents said to you, well, you lost your penis, you don't have a penis anymore, so I guess now you're a girl. So your name is going to be Sally from now on, and we're going to send you to school in dresses and pigtails. And you're going to have to start participating with the girls group and learn to act like the other girls and fit in with them. You know, don't tell them that you were born a boy. You're not a boy anymore. You're a girl. And we're going to treat you that way, and just that's that. You would be like, what? What are you talking about? I'm a boy. Just because I lost my penis does not change that. But that's it. Just, you don't have a penis, you're continuing to be forced to pretend to be a girl. As soon as you're old enough, I would think that you probably want to fix that and live as the man that you know you are. Losing your penis in an accident would not in any way make you less of a guy, but suddenly you're being treated as though you never were a guy. Add to that mix, you know, not developing like a guy through puberty, no facial or body hair, no voice drop, no Adam's apple, you know, no expected growth spurt. Let's say, for all intents and purposes of this video, that for some reason it caused a hormonal issue where you didn't develop any of those things, you know, where you grew breasts and, you know, a girl's figure, so to speak. I won't even go into the mental torment of having a period. You know, all of these things coming together would make you extremely uncomfortable, knowing that you'd still be a guy. You would still know that you're a guy, that you've always been a guy, but you feel trapped within this new body, this new unfamiliar body. Hearing a female name and hearing she all the time, you know, being called things like a pretty girl, it would probably drive you crazy, you know, and make you cringe every time. You know, you'd be wanting to scream, like, I'm a boy, why can't you see that? But you can't. You know, and if you were, you know, people would just tell you, well, you don't have a penis, so you're not a boy, you're not a real man. For me, as a transsexual, it's really all the same feelings, only my accident was something that occurred in the womb. As far as medical research, they don't know 100% the actual cause of it, whether it's a hormonal imbalance in the womb or just a chromosomal misfiring. For whatever reason, your gender in your brain forms one way and your reproductive system forms another way, which then dictates how your body develops through puberty and etc., etc. Basically what I'm getting at is that, to me, it feels the same way, as though I am a boy, I'm a guy, I always was a guy, I was born a boy, just for some reason I lost my penis along the way, you know. I mean, I know it's more complicated than that, obviously, but in the simplest of terms, you know, it really feels as though something went missing. So it's more than just an issue of, you know, oh, I wish I looked different. You know, that's a very great, serious discomfort, and something that would be really hard to get used to. I don't know if you could ever expect to just get used to something like that. I do get a lot of questions about it. Does it feel like, what is dysphoria? Why is it such a big deal? Why do you need to transition? Why can't you just be a butch woman? It's because that's not who I am. Yeah, after explaining this to him, he was like, oh, okay, that would really suck. If this is something you relate to and you're having trouble with a friend or a family member understanding, you know, maybe they would understand that explanation a little bit. So I'm just rambling on now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Peace out.